What if I told you that 90% of Solana bundler users are leaving thousands of dollars on the table with every launch? They click launch, cross their fingers, and miss out on the most important part. In my last video, we saw that having a good bundler is fundamental. Today, we're going much further. I'm revealing my exact methods, hidden strategies, and the types of launches I use to turn a simple bundler into a real cash machine. So when I talk to you about my methods, these are actually very specific launch strategies, approaches that I refine and use on a daily basis. And be careful, each of these strategies, when executed well, has the potential to let you stack well over 100 sols per operation. Let's start with the top category, the one that makes people dream and can be a game changer, what I call the big projects. You've seen them, these are tokens that take off, that appear at the top of Dex Screener, soaring to millions or even tens of millions in market cap in the blink of an eye. These are the most spectacular launches backed by a team at least on the surface and with outsized ambition. So the promise is a long-term token, a serious project, but in 99% of cases, it's a pump and dump. Careful, I'm not saying everything is bad. You already have projects like Bread that have proven a long-term vision can pay off where the teams keep building. But let's be clear, for every Bread, how many Madaf have there been that are really just well-disguised rugs? But then, concretely, why be interested in them? Because when it works, the big projects are the ones that change the game. We are talking about profits in the thousands of Solana. I've personally orchestrated several launches of this scale, and I can assure you that the return on investment can be astronomical. Return, this is a big but it requires a perfect alignment of several factors. Strategic knowledge, considerable time, and a significant initial budget. If you want to launch big projects, you face two major challenges ahead of you. The first is the marketing challenge, the art of hype. How do you break out of anonymity, make your project known, and above all, turn the curious into a community of believers, then into frenzied buyers on launch day. The second challenge, and not a minor one, is the technical challenge, the mastery of the launch. Honestly, this is where the pros stand out. So concretely, we're talking about how to acquire a significant share of the supply without getting wiped out by snipers, those bots that scoop up tokens before you even have a chance to buy. How do you make sure that all the indicators are green to inspire absolute confidence? In this major project, there's the strategic role of the initial bundle. It's often during these launches that you see that famous big bundle at the token's creation a strategic move with a dual purpose. First, it's a panic shield. It helps maintain the chart, absorb the initial sales, and prevent someone holding too many tokens from crashing the price. And the second thing is the team's war chest. Let's be honest, this is also and above all where most of the supply intended for the team is held, to fund the next stages of the project or simply to take profits. The recipe for orchestrating a big winning project consists of a few key ingredients, each requiring military-level execution. The first thing is a sharp token idea, something that resonates, that rides the current meta, that grabs attention. Next, you need a surgically precise launch execution. Every second counts. Once your initial supply is secured, often through that famous bundle, the token is launched publicly. This is the big leap, with no room for error. Then, you'll need a pre-engaged and fanatical community. Your army of supporters ready to buy even before the public listing, they are your first wave of buyers. And finally, last but not least, you'll need a heavy artillery of influencer marketing, the right influencers with real reach to blow up your project and create that viral snowball effect. Ultimately, for big projects, as with everything else, the golden rule is FOMO. We just saw how big projects with their marketing try to create a viral effect, but at the same time and often as a reaction to their sometimes disappointing practice, another form of launch is gaining more and more traction. These are community launches. This type of launch has always existed, but I've noticed they're becoming more and more prominent because people are tired of investing in big projects that end up dumping on them. There are several ways to do a community launch, through a trend think of tokens like Grok or Ghibli riding the wave of current events, for example with the announcement of a new pope, or by relying on a specific X community with a DJ token idea. Officially, the narrative is often the same. A token with a humorous and community-driven purpose, started by a random person who holds very little of the supply. You don't see any bundle at the token's creation. Everything suggests a natural charter and organic growth. The main appeal: if the idea is relevant, the timing perfect, and the execution meticulous, the potential for explosive growth is considerable. These tokens, seen as fair launches, inspire trust because the risk of getting dumped on seems lower. They can be set up quickly, potentially in series, with a minimal or even non-existent budget. But then, how can these launches be profitable if the creator is supposed to own only a small share of the tokens? That's where mastery of the technique comes in. It is entirely possible to have all the indicators looking good, whether it's the top 10 holders, a perfect bubble map, or a chart that inspires confidence while still discreetly controlling a significant portion of the supply. In reality, success lies in the details. Even if all your indicators seem perfect, if an experienced trader notices that the first purchases come from non-credible wallets with no trading history, your token is doomed to fail. Distrust will set in immediately. The key to the success of community launches, therefore, rests on a three-part foundation. First, the idea. It needs to be impactful and resonate with an audience. Second, speed. Seizing the right timing is crucial. Third, technical execution. It's the art of perfecting appearances so that everything seems legitimate and organic upon inspection. To give you a concrete example, I've created tokens that reached a 200,000 market cap in just 30 minutes organically, even though I discreetly owned more than 50% of the supply. This requires less knowledge of pure marketing, but a sharp understanding of current metas, high potential news, and absolute technical rigor during the initial inspection of the token. Ultimately, the secret is to put yourself in the shoes of an experienced trader and ask yourself these questions. Does this token really have potential? Does the launch truly seem fair? Are there any hidden red flags beyond appearances? And finally, the third method I use, which is less well known but incredibly effective if mastered properly, is what I call sniper and bot farming. The main advantage of this approach, it's easily repeatable in a loop, requires a minimal budget, carries very little risk of loss, and pays off big if applied consistently. This type of launch can be adapted to almost any token idea, although of course, the ideal is to ride a current trend. Its complexity lies mainly in understanding how snipers work. Why are some tokens snipe style and others not? And above all, how can you deliberately attract snipers so you can sell to them and make a profit? Since I practice sniping myself, I know their mechanisms very well from the inside. This is a method that requires an excellent understanding of launch techniques and the behavior of these bots. What should you remember about snipers? First of all, there are several types of snipers, each with their own type of trigger. For example, you have targeted snipers, some aiming for a specific launch, often identified by the token sticker or the detection of new creations. Others monitor new tokens and the evolution of their bonding curve, or for example, scrape social networks like Twitter, Telegram, and Discord to identify emerging behaviors and snipe the token. When you create your token to farm snipers, it's crucial to identify which type of bot you want to attract. Depending on this target, you need to adapt your launch technique. This can include adjustments such as the amount of tokens bought by the dev, whether or not to use bundles, and other fine technical parameters. To give you an idea of the potential, I know bundler users who generate up to 50 SOL per day quite easily using this method. And there you have it, we've explored together 3 distinct approaches to launching tokens on Solana. Major high potential projects, agile community launches, and the advanced methods of farming. You now have a much better idea of the strategies behind successful launches, but understanding the concepts is one thing, mastering them inside and out to turn them into real results, however, is something else entirely. If you feel ready to take things to the next level, if you want not only to understand these techniques, but to execute them precisely to aim for results like the ones I've shared, then I have something for you. I'm offering learning sessions and personalized coaching to help you master each of the essential skills for this method. Whether it's learning how to farm snipers and bots with surgical precision by capturing their liquidity without ever risking your own capital, developing impactful marketing strategies that turn an idea into an engaged and buying community even with a limited budget, or becoming a master of launch techniques by ensuring every aspect of your token inspires trust and converts attention into profit, all while outsmarting snipers and keeping your indicators in the green. These coaching sessions are one-on-one, tailored specifically to your goals and your project. It's practical based on my own experience and results. If you're interested in exploring these topics in depth with me, you'll find a link in the description to open a ticket on my Discord server so we can discuss it together. But that's not all. I know that not everyone is necessarily ready for individual coaching right away. That's why I warmly invite you to join my Discord server. It's completely free, and there you'll find a wealth of information, tips and techniques that I share regularly, support and discussions with a community passionate about launches, several trackers, whether it's Twitter, True Social, and others, and even a live Pumpfun monitor so you don't miss anything. It's the perfect place to keep learning and stay up to date. The link to join my Discord is of course also in the description. There you have it. I hope this video has brought you a lot of value and a new perspective on token launches. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if that's the case, subscribe so you don't miss the next in-depth analysis, and let me know in the comments which method inspires you the most or if you have any questions. This was The Insider. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.